Okay, here we go. So, I wanted to show a little bit more of what I do like day to day in terms of training, workout, and what I focus on. So, I decided to do this project uh, of compiling everything I do over the period of a week, all the training I do. There was a lot of stuff I didn't touch on this week, sparring, handstands, flips. Actually, did none of that for the whole week. Yeah, I wouldn't say there was anything special about this week. Um, I always try new things, like all the time, and so I try to do balance between trying new things and refining skills. This makeshift pull up bar was a real challenge actually. Doing pull ups on a slippery bamboo pole, I ended up having to use this opposite hold, um, going left, holding from the left and right side to practice hollow holds, just so that the pole doesn't slip out of my grip the whole time. Yeah, pancake. Decided to do some pancake, and then the thinking was, if you can do pancake one way, you can do it facing the other way as well. The other side was much harder though. Okay, so the next day, on day two, starting with a bit of a joint washing. Yeah, what I really wanted to do was go explore and scout out some trees, so and see what I can do with the tree obstacles. Because trees are really dynamic and not straightforward to work with if you want to use them for training. So basically, what I did on this day was I wanted to practice um, balancing on a single branch high up in a tree. And what was really challenging on this day was the fact that it was really rainy. Okay. And beyond practicing balance on a single branch, what I also wanted to do was to practice simple ground flow skills and techniques um, on rocks and trees, okay, which are much more dynamic, much more versatile, and you have to adapt. You can't just make a pattern and follow it. You actually have to adapt to the environment that you're in. If you're working with natural obstacles like rock formations and trees. Like you can see, this video is actually sped up, and I'm still moving slowly. I was moving really slowly. This was a really slippery branch, um, and it goes out really far, but yeah, really slippery and high up, so scary. That's the one thing about climbing trees, and I think it's got, it's like parkour essentially, natural parkour is the fear. You have to face a lot of fear when uh, trying to learn new skills or to essentially like master obstacles that you are unfamiliar with. And the reason it's scary because there's a real danger that you can hurt yourself. And the goal is to learn through practice and through skills and techniques that um, you can practice and learn to become confident and to master skills and obstacles to the point that you become comfortable and no longer um, fearing them because you do not know them. Then you're willing to and ready to accept the challenge of trying to master that obstacle or that skill. So, for example, one thing I'm working on at the moment is climbing higher. Um, and another thing is circling around a main big trunk of a tree. The climbing style is different. It's more of hanging underneath branches, but also incorporating holds or like these small, really limited holds that you're trying to get with your feet as well, so anchoring with your feet, as opposed to just trying to balance on top of a branch or hanging with your hands. You can always find interesting obstacles like these. I don't know what's these traffic pillars or whatever, concrete pillars. I spent a good deal of time here just seeing what I could do. So essentially, this was a practice of ground flow movements within limited with a constraint. You only have the pillars to balance on. It's the same as drawing circles on the ground. I think one of the um, important aspects of outdoor training and scouting locations to train is seeing what you can do with what you are given. So, because the outdoor environment is much more dynamic than an environment you control or set up, or how can I say, a random outdoor environment, then your training has to adapt the whole time. So it forces you to become creative. Like this tree was fun. It was just at the perfect angle, allowing you to run up easily. And sticking jumps, practicing jumps and sticking jumps is probably as satisfying as climbing. And the tornado roll was a fun skill that I tried for the first time and was able to do a little bit well after the first session. Day 3 was a rest day. I don't really think that high intensity skills you have to train all the time. Everybody's different, but definitely taking some time and not being in this like high intense skill training mode the whole time. That's why yoga is nice. So on day 4, basically what I did was I drew a pattern on the ground and then decided to see how I can move within these like physical constraints, practicing like ground flow, locomotion, and or jumps as well, within the constraints of the pattern that I drew on the ground. You can't see it so clearly from this angle, but there are circles and lines on the paving. What I think stood out in my training this week was it was more exploration. So I focused on exploring and trying different things, maybe not always completely new skills and movements, but finding interesting ways to train them. Because I'm always looking for interesting ways to transfer the understanding and skill, especially for the purposes of training other people. And because in order to train other people, I have to be able to convey the understanding, the information, and as well and the skill to others. And in order to be able to do that, I have to take the time to develop methods through which I can convey this information. I think exploration, I think people underestimate the importance of exploration in our locomotion, mobility, and fitness. Two things that it can help is it really stimulates creativity, and it keeps the training and learning process very fun, engaging, and helps keep us motivated. Jumps are actually a movement that our bodies can do really well, and something that most people are actually lacking in to a big extent. Physical health and fitness you have a lot to benefit from jumping more. There's a few technical skills that come into play, like looking at a target where you want to land and actually being able to get your feet there, not overshooting or undershooting. And it's actually jumping is a full body engagement as well. Everything in your body has to work together to get you through the air and to the other target successfully. Being comfortable with jumps also makes your environment more accessible, allows you to interact with much more varied obstacles in your environment, and also just practicing how far you can jump is fun. Rolls naturally tie in very closely with jumps, as it helps us to just reduce the amount of force our bodies have to take, how much impact our bodies have to endure when moving at speed, landing, falling. Climbing up a vertical tree trunk, I think, is one of my big favorites. It's a really nice climbing practice, and just have the feeling of climbing up a palm tree, to get a coconut. Okay, on day 5, decided to go for a bit of a run in the neighborhood. I thought it was going to be a rest day, but then decided to go on for a run, and then I had the second yoga session of the week. Yeah, when doing yoga sessions like here and there during the course of a week, it really helps to slow down again and just reevaluate what we're going to be doing going forward with our training, and gives the body a chance to rest, gives you the time to check in with your body, where you might be having some tension, something might be a little bit painful or stiff somewhere. Hoe voel je nou volgens de sessie? Okay, and day 6, I had a training session with a family member, and went for a bit of a walk after that, and then decided to dedicate day 6 to some heavy lifting. Picking up rocks is something I learned like in my teenage years on the farm or on the plots. Yo, me and my brothers dug up so many rocks, moved so many rocks, and of course it was raining, so got nice and muddy. The other main reason why I started training doing weight training is because I saw that it helped my knees a lot. So really helps me. It is really helping me build strong quads, strong legs in general. Yeah, on day 7 was another quiet day actually, but was really fun because I was able to have a ground flow session. Okay. Ground flow lesson, sorry. And we really only went through some basic stuff, actually going through some stuff I had done earlier in the week. But with one-on-one training, it's different for everybody. Things that everybody are working on, strengths, weaknesses. With one-on-one sessions, you really have a chance to focus in on building how that specific individual wants and needs to train. And that was the whole week.